Learner-Centered Teaching in Elementary Classrooms by Anna L. This video is designed for teacher candidates entering the field of elementary education. In this video, teacher-centered and learner-centered teaching methods will be discussed. Brain-based research will be presented along with ways to create a more learner-centered classroom. After viewing this presentation, the teacher candidate will be able to distinguish between teacher-centered and learner-centered classrooms, recall information regarding brain-based learning, design learner-centered lessons. As a university professor, I begin my early childhood education classes each semester with a discussion of the teacher candidates' memories of their own early schooling. The teacher candidates in my classes recall pleasant experiences, favorite teachers, and academic success. They remember individual achievements and good report cards. I ask the teacher candidates to consider the teaching methods used by their former teachers. They report memories of sitting in rows, filling in worksheets, and most recall spelling tests. These students report a rhythm to the week that seemed to repeat as each week passed. After considering their early schooling from the student's perspective, the teacher candidates are asked to consider the teacher's role. The teacher candidates speak of the role of the teacher as the one who tells students what they should know, gives them practice activities to complete, then assesses the knowledge. The example given most often is that of the weekly spelling test, where the children are given a list of words on Monday, were asked to write each word several times and use it in a sentence, and then were tested on their ability to remember the correct spelling on Friday. When I asked how the words were selected, the teacher candidates were unsure. So, 2007 tells us that the role of teachers and children in the traditional teacher-centered classrooms my teacher candidates remember, and learner-centered classrooms differ. In learner-centered classrooms, the children are allowed to explore their own interests and to actively participate in the construction of knowledge. The teacher serves as a facilitator of learning and as a guide. So offers the analogy of an impressionist painter versus a technical painter. The technical painter follows rules and guidelines received during instruction to produce a painting. An impressionist painter uses creativity beyond the technical aspects of painting to produce a work of art that has explored the possibilities and also ends with a technically correct work of art. So likens the learner-centered classroom to the impressionist painting. Research on learning and the brain supports the notion of learner-centered classrooms. Doyle, 2011, tells us science has shown that in order for students to learn, they need to be the one doing the work. He also relates several factors that allow our brains to function properly so that learning can be maximized. In addition to our physical health, the proper amount of sleep is needed for learning. Doyle and Zakrosik, 2013, tells us that without the proper amount of sleep, our ability to learn and remember will be decreased. He states that we need sleep before learning so that we are alert and ready for new learning. And we need sleep after learning so that the new learning can be consolidated and moved into long-term memory. Teachers can help parents and children understand the importance of sleep. According to Doyle and Zakrosik, 2013, water is necessary for proper brain function. When we are dehydrated, we can become tired and unable to concentrate. It is important to rehydrate each morning as you prepare for new learning. Teachers should offer opportunities for hydration throughout the school day. Doyle and Zakrosik, 2013, tell us that the brains used from 25 to 30% of our body's energy each day. Without a healthy diet, the brain is deprived of the energy needed for learning. Teachers can not only encourage children to eat a healthy diet, they can also study nutrition and diet as science topics. Exercise is vital to the growth of brain cells and connections. This knowledge should encourage teachers to include exercise in daily routines and to be certain recess is planned into each day. Opportunities to walk around the classroom and to engage in active play at recess and during gym are important to the learning process. In the traditional classrooms discussed earlier, students were often expected to sit for most of the day. Opportunities for movement were limited, and recess was often taken away as punishment. Even trips to the water fountain were regulated. The brain research clearly indicates a need for classrooms where activities are structured so that brain-based learning can take place. Doyle, 2011, tells us that lectures are sometimes needed so that teachers can help students gain the background knowledge needed to explore a topic further. There are times when the teacher needs to explain complex topics and support children through modeling. Guided practice is needed. Lectures should be used when the children cannot learn without teacher assistance. Learner-centered teaching requires us to rethink the role of the teacher. Rather than serving as one who tells, the teacher facilitates learning. I recall my first skiing experience very vividly. I read about skiing and talked to friends who knew how to ski before trying it myself. With the skis on my feet, I was not able to recall the advice from my friends or the diagrams from the books. It was only with the instructor's advice and facilitation that I was able to learn to ski. The instructor didn't give generic instruction or help me when I fell, but rather guided me until I understood what I needed to successfully make it down the bunny slope on my own. Teachers in learner-centered classrooms will need to remember their role and let the children do the work. According to Weimer, 2013, there are 7 principles that guide learner-centered teaching. The first principle includes allowing the students to take on the learning tasks by summarizing, drawing conclusions, and being asked to find the point of difficulty when they struggle. This leads to Principle 2, which requires the teacher to do less telling and to hone the skill of questioning. Principle 3 speaks to the lesson planning process. Instructional design will need to include work that causes the children to apply cognitive skills. Materials need to be relevant and authentic. Explicit modeling of the teacher's thought processes and problem-solving strategies are included in Principle number 4. The modeling makes problem-solving strategies clear and visible to the students. Group work and talk are key to learning. Principle 5 honors the belief that children do learn from each other and that they learn through talk. The responsibility for learning is given to the children. They are given the needed support and materials and are then trusted to take on the learning task. Principle 6 gives students options so they can take on this responsibility. Principle 7 asks teachers to use assessment and feedback as learning tools. If a piece of writing needs more detail, children can read their piece to other students and ask for advice. Assessment should let the teacher and student know where they are in the learning process, and it should be used to help take the next steps. Learner-centered teaching requires the teacher to consider how the brain functions best for optimal learning. It requires a rethinking of the teacher and student roles in the learning process. The work of Doyle, 2011, Weimer, 2013, and others guides our thinking and offers concrete suggestions for teaching and maximizing student performance. Consider how the information in this video can be incorporated into your work as a teacher candidate, and how you will carry your understanding of learner-centered teaching into your teaching career.